Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Tom Booker, Senior Instructor. This video tutorial is for our Karate Tigers students. These are the skills you're learning in our A and B lessons for your first achievement stripe during our autumn term. The skills we're going over in this video tutorial are the double palm heel strike from the wedge guard, the open hand strike, the back breakfall, the ground defense position, the rolling wrist release, and the hooking block.
Okay, the second formal strike that we'll be looking at is going to be the palm heel strike out of the wedge guard. We're going to go ahead and look at the basics of the technique of a formal palm heel strike out of a front stance, and then we'll go ahead and look at it from the wedge guard. So to start, we're going to get into a good front stance. For the palm heel strike, we are striking with the palm of our hand. Okay, this nice padded part right here. We want to keep all of our fingers tight together, have that thumb pulled in. And I will usually take my fingers and just bend them down just a little bit. Just kind of tenses up those muscles. You do want to watch your thumb that it doesn't kind of flay out to the side, because it's really easy to catch your thumb on something. So we're going to go ahead and make sure everything's nice, compact. And then we're not striking with our fingertips, but we are actually striking with the palm of our hand. Now, in the formal technique, I started down here at my hip. Basically, I just want you guys to see the arm and shoulder movement together with the twist of the hips. So this, just the palm heel strike using my arms, okay? Twist into the strike. Gives the technique a lot more power, and that's how we want to eventually start using the palm heel strike once we are a little more familiar with it. We do definitely want to twist our hips into it. Now out of the wedge guard, it's a good solid wedge guard, good standing base, elbow up, backhand. Your backhand's already ready for the palm heel. It's set just like that. So just like in the horizontal elbow strike, we're going to start with that backhand. We're going to go ahead and twist and strike, okay? And then with the front, twist, twist, and twist, and then back to your wedge. So as we work this with the target, we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to work with just the backhand, and then we'll add the back and front, and then we'll do them in groups of 4. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at this in the air. Good standing base, okay, good wedge guard, okay, got my backhand, fingers tight together, palm, twist and strike, back to my wedge, twist and strike, twist and strike. I'm going to use that, add that front arm in, twist and strike, back to my wedge, front hand, backhand, front hand. And then I'm going to add the 4 just like in self-defense kata number 1, backhand, front hand, backhand, front hand, wedge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and Mr. Just going to shift in. We're going to look at this on a target. Now the first thing that I'm going to mention is the same thing we looked at with the horizontal elbow strike, the distancing. As Mr. Discipline gets the target out, you have a little more distance with the palm heel strike than you do with the reverse elbow, but you don't want to be so far out that I have to lean in to strike the target, okay? So you want to just kind of practice a little bit and make sure you get that distancing down. Now we're going to go ahead and start by looking at a formal palm heel strike out of a front stance. I'm in a nice wide front stance. Okay, I'm going to chamber out, hand at my hip. Okay, we're just going to come through and I'm just going to touch and push. Okay, making sure I'm striking with the correct part of my hand. Okay, touch and push, touch and push. Okay, once I get that down, formal technique, we're going to go ahead and add a little more power, a little more speed, a little more twist to the hip, and then just strike into the target. Pretty powerful strike. It's got some good push to it. Like the horizontal elbow strike, this is one of our basic board breaks. Strike and strike. The front stance gives you a really good base to twist the hips. It's not quite as easy to twist your hips in the wedge guard, but it is a lot more protective. So we're going to start in our wedge. Okay, good wedge with standing base. And we're going to start by touching and pushing. Okay, with just the backhand. So just touch and push, touch and push, touch and push. And then we'll add that front hand. So backhand, front hand, touch and push. Back to my wedge. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and add all 4 strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 4. Not the easiest thing to strike. You'll notice it's not like a shield. It's round. So you kind of have to pay attention, because if you're just kind of throwing them out there, you're going to go off the top or miss it. Don't hit your partner. Okay, we've done the touch and pushes. Let your partner know. We're going to go ahead and add a little more power, a little more speed. So we're going to start in our wedge. We're just going to do that backhand. Okay, you see how Mr. Driscoll does have his arms extended. So if I do happen to go over the top, it would be far enough away. Not going to hit him.
This is an easy way to hold it too.
Yeah, it actually does look a good way. Okay, so good power. We want a good twist. Just strike back to your wedge, just like that. Okay, and then back in front, or back in front. Good, and then we can add all 4 into your wedge. There you go, just like that. Okay, let's go to switch sides. We'll run through the drill one more time on the other side. So I'm going to start in a formal front stance, chamber into my hip, just come through, just practice twisting, striking, just a touch and a push, just like that. Okay. Going to go ahead and add some power from the formal technique out of the front stance. You can get a good twist. And strike. Okay. We're going into our wedge guard. Okay. This is much more protected than a front stance. Okay. Just touch and push with the backhand. Touch and push, keeping everything nice, tight, fingers tight together, palm. Okay. And then front, back, and then front, just touch and push. And then all 4. Good. Very good. Make sure your partner knows you're going to add a little more power and speed to it, so they're ready. Okay, we're going to start the sequence just with that backhand, strike, and back into our wedge. Back to our wedge, good twist. Back, and then front, back, front. And we're going to add all 4 of them. So back, front, wedge. One more time. Back, front, wedge. Thank you, sir. Okay, that is our second formal strike that we're going to be working on. That is the Palmheel strike from the wedge guard.
Hello, thank you for joining me. This is our open hand strike. Now, our hand shape is this. Fingers together, but pull back away from the palm this way. Our striking surface is going to be the palm of the hand here. Keep your wrist nice and straight. Try not to bend your wrist. Just this. Now we're going to start off with the striking hand here, up by our ear. Retraction hand out in front like this. This, the fingertips touching my ear. And we're going to bring the strike across and through in front of our face this way. And here, across and through. Across and through. Across and through. quickly, we're using a twist of our hips and shoulders here. Across and through. Across and through. Across and through. Now faster yet. Go. 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 Let's switch sides. Yeah. Pull your fingers back from your palm. Try to keep your wrist nice and straight. Start it up here by your ear. Those fingertips touching your ear. That lets you know you've got this arm in the right place. I don't want it drifting around, floating around on its own this way. Now this is actually a fairly small movement of our arm here. What gives me my power is my twist of my hips and shoulders this way. It's not a big flailing movement with the arm. That doesn't have a lot of power, and it's pretty slow, pretty inefficient. What I want is this much shorter movement here, using my hips and shoulders. Right, again, let's just bring it across and through. Across and through. Across and through. Now a little more quickly. Here. 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 Now something that's going to help with this twist is keeping your knees a little bit bent. If I have my legs straight as I twist, I start to go off balance very, very quickly. If I spread my feet out, bend my knees a little bit, I can get a good, powerful twist and stay in balance. So let's go a little faster and harder. Strike. Ready. Strike. And strike. All right, let's look at this on a target now. For today, we'll use the big versus here as our target. Now, I'm going to need to be in fairly close to my target. If I'm too far away, I have to lean over to reach, which again puts me off balance, or I'm going to wind up doing this, striking with my fingers and not with my palm. My fingers are not the best striking surface. They're flexible, they bend, and I can hurt them doing this. My palm here is going to be much stronger. So the first few of these, just touch with your palm. Touch. Work on finding your target and making sure of your distance. After the first few, we'll touch and push. Touch and push. Touch and push. I'm using that twist of my hips and shoulders to push through. All right. Now finally, we'll go a little faster and harder. We'll twist and strike. Twist and strike. Twist and strike. We'll move this over. Have a look from the other side. Again, start off here and just touch. Find your target. Use your palm. Again, you're going to need to be pretty close for this. Then touch and push. Touch and push. Touch and push. And again, I'm using that twist of my hips and shoulders, this, to be able to push through. And finally, twist and strike. Twist and strike. Twist and strike. When you get the twist working with this, I think you're going to find you can get a lot of power into this strike. Now again, it's not a real big motion of my arm. I'm not doing something like that. That is really not that powerful. And it takes an awful long time for my striking hand to get from there over to my target. This is much more efficient, much more effective. Here and here. Nice, powerful strike. That is our open hand strike. Thank you for joining me.
Okay, we're going to look at the back break fall and getting into the ground defense position. Okay, so the reason we need to learn the back break fall is because, let's say somebody pushes you over, you don't want to fall a certain way. You don't want to fall on your elbows. You're going to break your elbows. You don't want to come down on your wrists. You'll break a wrist. Okay, if that happens, you won't be able to defend yourself. Also, you definitely don't want to hit your head. So you want to fall in a certain way. So I'm going to start from a standing position. So what you're going to do is when you fall, you want to slap out like so to absorb the fall, okay? And you want to slap out really hard when you're coming down onto your back. So you want to fall down completely on your back, have your chin down, and slap out. So make sure you get that chin down nice and tight. And then just as you're hitting the ground, you're going to slap out because you're going to absorb the fall. Your back's going to strike the ground and your two hands are going to slap, and that's going to break your fall. So you may cut your hands a little bit. Let's say you're out in the parking lot, this happens, but you're not going to break anything. So let's practice this a few times. So you're going to chin down and then slap. Okay, you don't want to have your slap out with your hands like this because it puts a lot of stress on your shoulders. Okay, you don't want to have it inside like this. You want to have like right about there, like a 45-degree angle, like so. So, chin down, slap. Okay, try again. Chin down, and slap. Okay, so let's try this laying on the mat. Okay, now you notice I have my chin nice and tight. My head's not touching. I'm going to do it from the side here. Okay, put your head up. And what you're going to do is slap out just like that. Nice and hard. Okay, it's got to be really hard. Like so. Okay, so let's try this. And actually, from the sitting position, roll onto our back and do the slap out. So we want to start in this position. Okay, hands on your chest, chin down, and I'm going to do it from the side. Okay, and you're going to come down as your back is striking the ground. Just doing that, doing the slap. Okay, ready? Chin down. You roll over onto your back, like so. Okay, I'll do it this direction. Chin down, roll onto your back. Okay, so once you get to this position, you don't want to stay here. You want to actually get into a defensive position. So what you want to do is you want to roll over onto your hip. Okay, so I'm going to roll over to my right hip. Okay, I'm bringing my right leg, my right foot's inside, and my left leg is going to be like this. Okay, and then I'm going to get to a wedge guard. Okay, very important. You want to protect the front of your body because let's say somebody's trying to attack you. You want to protect the front of your body. So the knee is protecting this part, and the elbow is protecting my face. So it's a pretty simple thing to do. So let's go ahead and do the whole thing all together. So chin down, and then slap out. Okay, I'm going to roll over onto my right side, just like so. Make sure the back arm is straight. You don't want to be down like this because it's really hard to move around. Okay, you want to be able to move in case your attacker is trying to hit you with something, which Mr. Thomas is going to demonstrate here in a minute. So let's try the slap out rolling onto my left hip. Okay, chin down. Okay, hands on your chest, and you're going to roll back, and then roll over onto your left hip. Okay, back arm is straight. Okay, you want to bring the back knee in, back foot in, okay, and tight, and the front knee needs to be in that position, okay, to protect the front of your body, okay, and get to a good wedge guard, just like this. So do that one time. Okay, chin down, pull that up, roll over, and I'm in a good defensive position. Okay, so now Mr. Thomas is going to come in and he's going to try to hit me with that caveman blocker. So I'm going to pivot. He's going to try to get behind me. I'm going to pivot. Okay. Okay. Try to slap it out of the way. Just like so. Okay. He's trying to stop me. Okay. Move my foot in. Okay. Now when you're slapping it away, make sure you're coming back to that wedge guard. Okay. You don't want to come out like this and leave your hand out there, or he can still strike you. Okay. So you got to come back like so. Okay, let me try from the other side. Okay. Good. And that's enough. Okay. So that's what that's part of, so that's the back breakfall and getting into the ground defense position. Now, later on in the term, we're probably going to move into actually moving away and getting up into a standing position. But for now, are we going to be doing that, Mr. Booker? So we're going to go through the whole thing at some point. Okay, so that's the back breakfall and ground defense position. Okay, so now we're going to look at the rolling wrist release and the wedge guard wrist release. Okay, so with the rolling wrist release, okay, the thing we want to, so let's put your hands out. Okay, let's say your partner grabs a straight grab to your right wrist. Okay, what you want to do, always do, is you want to move in closer, keep your elbow in like this, and then once you want to roll inside out, just like that, and then of course you want to move away into a wedge guard. So let's say that grabbing this wrist, okay, I'm going to move in, okay, gives you a little more leverage, okay, then I'll move inside out, just like that, and then back into a wedge guard. Okay, that's for a straight grab. That means the partner is doing a grab straight across, not a cross grab. And we'll demonstrate that in a minute, how that works. Okay, let's try it with the other wrist. So they grab this wrist, okay? So basically it's a straight grab to this wrist, you're going to move in, okay, keep the elbow in, okay? You can do a nice tight little circle, and then get into a wedge guard. Okay, remember, it's a tight circle, not a big wide arc like this, okay? One thing you don't want to do is, if you start pulling away, it's really hard to do that maneuver, okay? It's hard to get free. You really have to move in to get leverage, okay? So I have Mr. Thompson assist me, and we're going to demonstrate how this works. And let's see how we can do this. Okay, let's try it. Okay, he's doing a straight grab, his left hand to my right wrist. Okay, now see this is the weak part of the grip right here, where the thumb is. Okay, you want to go the direction of the thumb. So I'm going to move in. I don't want to move out and try this. It's hard to get free. So what I want to do is I want to move in. My elbows in, and then a nice little short little circle, and then move away, just like that. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to move in, and little circle, move away. He's not going to be expecting that either. Okay, so let's try a different grip. Okay, let's try the reverse grip. And let's go on. So sometimes you might be, the grip might be in reverse, like he's going to pull me away. It's a come along grip. Okay, you notice that the thumb is on this side. Okay, so we want to go the direction of the thumb. So you're going to go a little circle the opposite direction, just like that. Okay, and then just like that. Okay, but make sure you're moving in. You got to move along and do that little short little circle. Okay, let's try it again from the other side. Okay, let's demonstrate. No, I think that's fine. So the important thing to do is to move in. Okay, use the leverage. Okay, and go the direction of the thumb. This is the weak part of the grip. Inside out like that, just like that. And likewise, the thumb's on the other side. Okay, you can go the opposite direction, like so. and then move away, just like that. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Sir.
Okay, that's a brief look at the rolling wrist release.
Okay, formal hand technique we're going to be looking at is going to be the hooking block, and we are going to go ahead and pair that with a reverse punch, so as a combination. For the hooking block, we're going to go ahead and look at the front stance, with an outward front stance. So just a quick review, feet together, take your right foot, step out about 2.5 steps, front knee is bent, back knee is straight, body is pointed forward, okay? For the hooking block, our hand shape, we want to keep our wrist straight, bend at the elbow. It's almost a knife hand shape, but we kind of curl the fingers down just a little bit more, and the thumb is out. Now what you want to be real careful and avoid is like the little Pac-Man shape, okay? You don't want this. You can't hook anything, okay? You want it nice and strong. So really just take your knife hand, just curl the fingers down just a little bit more, bring out your thumb. Now, for the chamber, we go ahead, we chamber a hooking block on the shoulder. So we're going to go a right hand hooking block, so it's going to be over my left shoulder. My other hand just chambers underneath. And the hooking block is palm in, and I just bring it out and across past my body. Okay, I want it a little bit past my body. My other hand just retracts into my hip. I'm just here, hook. Okay. In the pattern, we do these pressings nice and slow. Okay, just a good way to practice and start. Okay, just a good chamber. Make sure you've got a good hand shape, nice straight wrists. Just come through. Hooking block. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that from the side. So I'm going to into my front stance. Okay, got my hand over my shoulder. This is going to come through, just like that. Hooking block. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the reverse punch. So hooking block, we are blocking, hooking, pulling something in. So we're going to put a technique behind it. I'm going to get into my front stance. Right leg in front, right hand over my left shoulder. So I'm going to hook. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull in. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that reverse punch. Okay, so it's going to be hook, okay, trap, pull in, reverse punch. Okay. Just like we do with any of our other open hand techniques, you want to make sure you're not just trying to snatch something out of the air, but you are blocking, trapping, pulling in, and doing that reverse punch. So we'll use that technique a few times in the air. Reverse punch, trap, pull in, reverse punch. A couple of times from the side, and then we'll go ahead and work this on a target. Okay, okay. Trap, pull in, reverse punch. Okay, let's go ahead, take a look at this on a target. I'm going to have Mr. Discipline go ahead and shift in. Side for me, sir. Okay, so he does have a, we'll be formal first. He does have a shield and a sword. We're going to hook and we're going to block, hook, pull in with the sword. We're going to throw that reverse punch into the shield. Okay, so he's set up. Okay, we're going to start off nice and slow. Just bring it through, just practice hooking, pulling in. Let's get him a little bit closer so I can strike with that reverse punch. Okay, here, hook, trap, pull in, reverse punch. You guys will notice that I'm not doing this. I'm just snatching it out of the air. Okay, lock, trap, pull in, reverse punch. One more time. Trap, reverse punch. That's substituting against an arm. It works the exact same way against a punch. We're not going to show that, but the exact same way. You block the punch, you grab it, pull them in, and you throw that reverse punch. Sorry. Okay. That is our formal hand technique. The hooking punch and the hooking block and the reverse punch out of the front stance.